Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Well, finally got a nice pleasant day after 3 days of totally oppressive heat in the 90s Fahrenheit, 30s Celsius, and even heat indices above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's into the 40s Celsius. But this morning it rained like crazy last night. You got, I think, a couple inches of rain last night, and there's flood warning on the river over here. So probably not going to go over there. It's not too muddy here in this upland, so I have some pretty big news, and that is that I am now a former photojournalist. In fact, I think I'm probably mostly a former professional photographer. I have stopped my relationship with the papers, at least professional relationship. The reason being, the organization that they merged with, these papers are nonprofit, and they merged with a larger nonprofit. And initially I was presented with a contract, and it was what's called a work for hire contract. And what that is you're essentially, if you sign one of those, you're giving away your copyright. So you're signing your copyright over to them. And that was unacceptable to me. I mean, I've never signed any of those. For the amount of money that I'm making on that, there's totally no sense in signing an agreement like that, because I wanted the right to relicense the images, and I have relicensed some of the images that that I shot. They wanted that to be retroactive. They wanted it to cover everything I've ever done, even before they became the owners of these papers. In any case, I wasn't going to do that. Now, there might be some times when you want to sign a contract like that if they're going to pay you enough. And I'll give you an example. Let's just say you get hired by a Hollywood movie production, and they need stills. You know, the posters that you see, the coming attractions posters at the movie theaters, those are from stills, or or their illustrations. Depends. Now, a lot of times it's probably AI. But in that case, you're going to charge a lot of money for that. I mean, we're talking thousands. And that makes sense, because what are you going to do with those images? I mean, you might be able to license them, but probably not, because you're going to be on set and you're probably going to have an agreement that you can't do that. So that makes sense. But in general, if it's just a run-of-the-mill photo job, you want to not sign a work for hire contract. And the thing is, you got to really be careful, because a lot of times, at least these guys were upfront about it. It was like right on the front page of the contract. It was like pretty much a one-page contract. Sometimes people will bury that somewhere, right? So unless you go through the contract and find it, you got a problem, which is why you should have an attorney. And you should definitely have an attorney look at the contract. So I said no, and then they came back, because I said, I relicense images. I'm not going to sign away my copyright. And they came back with another contract that had a licensing agreement, but it was pretty onerous, and it was going to make it really hard for me to license anything in any case. So, and I just was kind of getting tired of it. I was ready for a change anyway. Really, I was just kind of ready for a change, and so I said no to that. And so now I'm no longer working for them. I think they're going to do well. They now have an organization behind them that has money, because this bigger nonprofit is actually a part of Arizona State University. Means all the people that are on staff at the papers now have really good health insurance, because they're getting Arizona State's health insurance. So that's good for them, and probably they've given raises to their reporters. So that's kind of the big news. I'm not that worried. Beth, my wife, and I have a couple of businesses. People probably know that we do photography and web design, although that photography part, as I said, I think that's going to be, that's going to be on a case-by-case basis. If I have a friend who says, hey, I need this shot, I might do it. But I'm not going to do any huge jobs, because I find them to the point where they're just, the whole thing is just kind of tiring. And I want to just go out and enjoy photography for myself. We also have another business. I will touch on that just briefly. We've been doing this for a number of years. We do what's called private money lending, and it's in the real estate arena. You know what private money lending is? Just a real quick example. There's several, but a quick example is this is the same. Somebody's going to buy an old decrepit house and then fix it up and resell it and make a profit on that. A lot of times they're going to need a loan, and they're not going to get a loan through a bank. In fact, our bank doesn't even do mortgages. You know, because the banks are going to want to do a credit check and yada yada yada. And so private money lending, and we have people that we work with. We don't directly loan individuals money. We have people that we work with who do this, and then they will get a group of investors together to do a loan. Or it'll be one thing. We actually did fund a fix and flip in Atlanta, and we did well with that. We also have funded a land purchase for building houses in a town out west, and both of those were quite really good deals. And now we're in a position where we know so many people in this network that we have that we can actually offer business loans through our network, because we have a couple of organizations that do that. So, and essentially the way this got started was Beth used to work for a company that built websites for real estate investors and brokers and agents, and her CEO had a podcast, and this guy had a guest on that was explaining this whole thing that we're doing, and it was just like, wow, that I didn't even know this world existed. So that's what kind of got us into it. I've set up a new channel for that business, so we'll be doing some videos about that. But yeah, that's going to be probably more than make up for the loss of this photojournalism income. And if you want any information about this, let me know. And what I'll do is when we do a video for the other channel, I'll just pop in here and let y'all know about it, so you can go over and watch the video over there. But yeah, it's kind of a different world, and I'm pretty excited about it. And again, I will have time to come out and do photography for my own enjoyment. So that's it for now. I'm Todd Banner. Have a great day.